Poison in the Colony, Jamestown, 1622, Chapter 42. The weather turns warm for a few days in late January, and Samuel thinks of an excuse to go to Jamestown. I'll see if they have any spare rations for the outlying plantations, he says. We all know that there will be no extra rations, but we also know that Samuel wants very much to see Angela, and so we encourage him. Yes, go see if you can bring back some eggs or fat back, my mother says. Tell Bermuda we are doing well, I say. Tell him I am very happy with the glass piece he made for me. It doesn't really work as a drinking flask, but I keep it on the kitchen windowsill where the sunlight makes it shine. We pack Samuel up with food for his trip, messages for Bermuda and Jane and Angela, and orders to bring us back all of the news of Jamestown. Then we send him on his way, paddling up the quiet waters on the edge of the river. Several days later, when Samuel returns from Jamestown, he's not alone. When I see whom he has brought with him, I feel squirmy inside. It is Chopook. I've brought some good, strong help, Samuel calls as they come walking up the hill from the river. Wingapo, Chopook greets us. He glances at me, then looks away. Catherine and Alice come running. They grab Chopook's finger and pull him in a circle. He'll be closer to his family here and can visit them more often, Samuel says. Welcome, Daw says. We can certainly use the help. My mind is racing. Will he with us every day? Where will he sleep? Not in the kitchen with all of us. I have been avoiding Chopook since last winter at Bermuda's cottage when he touched my hand, and I knew what he was feeling for me. He is too shy to pursue me, but I have often caught him looking at me when he thinks I won't notice. It was easy to ignore him in Jamestown with so many people around, but here it will be just us. I must be scowling, deep in my worried thoughts, because Samuel grabs my arm. What are you so peevish about? He asks quietly. Where's he gonna sleep? I snap at him in a whisper. Samuel looks blank for a moment, as if he hadn't thought of that little detail. Then he waves away my concern. He can sleep in the barn. He brought his deerskins and furs to keep him warm. That evening at supper, Samuel shares the news he has brought from Jamestown. Cicely, who is now happily married to William, just had a healthy baby boy. The glass house is turning out glass, and Bermuda is getting better and better at it. Jane and her husband, Robert, send well wishes, and of course, Angela sends her love to all of us. I keep my eyes on my food. I decide that if I could ignore Chopook in Jamestown, I can ignore him here. All I have to do is stay quiet and polite and not ever look at him. It's not that he is ugly or ignorant or mean. In fact, he's quite handsome, with smooth copper skin and calm dark eyes. He is kind and soft-spoken, and he loves to make my sisters laugh. I would be happy to be his friend, the way I am Bermuda's friend. It's just that when he touched my hand, I felt something different from friendship, something meant for a girl who is ready for romance and marriage, which I am certainly not. My plan of ignoring Chopook goes on for about a week. Then, one day, the men are off working, the girls are napping, and Mum and I are kneading dough for bread. Why do you dislike Chopook so? Mum asked me. I don't dislike him, I say quickly. I feel that he likes me too much. Yes, I catch him looking at you sometimes, Mom says. I don't blame him. You are growing into a lovely young woman. I'm a girl. I slap the dough down onto the kneading board. Yes, you are still a girl. No one is rushing you, Mum says. I feel like Chopuk wants to rush me, I say. Mum shakes her head. He's only admiring you. He knows full well that we have too many men and not enough women. It makes sense that some of our men marry their women, but you will easily find an English man to marry. Now I punch the dough harder than it needs to be punched. I don't want to marry an Englishman, I say. Mum raises her eyebrows at me. I know I will marry one, but they are all so English. I know what they say about me when they talk, that I'm wild, that I grew up here in the wilderness, and I don't know the English manners because you and Daw were too busy surviving to teach me. They say the same thing about Bermuda. Mum raises her eyebrows again and just looks at me. What? I ask. Bermuda? She says. You are both more Virginians than English. Right, I say. I knead my ball of dough, and suddenly it dawns on me what Mom is suggesting. You mean marry Bermuda? That's silly, Mum. He's only a boy, and he's my friend. Yes, and you are only a girl, but in a few years you will have grown up. I am quiet, thinking. I picture Bermuda with his tight curls and impish face. Will he ever really grow up? Maybe he won't like me when he becomes a man, I say. Maybe he'll be sweet on some other girl who hasn't bossed him around his entire life. Mum lays a damp cloth over the dough to let it rest. Either way, she says, I think you can speak to Chopuk now. And then, without him thinking, it means you want to marry him. Alice wants to learn words in Algonquian, and so Chopuk has been teaching her. They sit on the floor, and I decide to join in. He teaches us to count to 10. Nekut, Ning, Nus, Yo, Paransk, Komontich, Tapawas, Nusawash, Kekatawa, Kaskik. Then he points to Daw. Man, he says, Nemaro. And to Mom, woman, Krenekpo. He holds up Alice's foot and points to her new moccasins. She giggles. Moccasin, he says. It means shoe. Alice tries out a word from her last lesson. Netopu, she says, and pats Chopuk's chest. Yes, he says. He glances at me, then back to Alice. Netopu, friend.